Okay, guys, we will get started right now. Let me hit record on this computer. And as always, welcome to the next level session today. Oh, am I showing my screen? I think I was. Yeah, you guys can see the screen, right? We'll get started here. I don't have anything very specific today other than sort of a hodgepodge of stuff that I think you'll find interesting. I'm just going to skip around a little bit. These sessions, generally, we have something to talk about for the first 5 to 15 or 20 minutes. Yesterday, we did a session on like a follow-up routine. So definitely check that out at insiderealestate.com/webinars. That was the September 1st session, if you're watching this on replay. And actually, I need to get that into the playlist. Sometimes I forget to put it into the playlist. So let's see here. Save to playlist. And now you'll be able to find that session from yesterday. It'll be on there. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, do subscribe and like the channel if possible. We appreciate that. And if you have anything you'd like us to talk about today, go ahead and drop it in the chat. So let's just skip around. I learned something today about an hour or two ago on a session we did for team leaders about recruiting, and that session will be on the YouTube channel later today as well. You guys can check that out. But what I learned was something that I kind of knew KV Core did, but I'd forgotten it did it, and I just want to point it out. So what it is if you go to a contact record and you click on this little badge up at the top left right here, it will do the validation process and look for more information about the lead. And you could probably see right over here, it tried to run the validation and it didn't find any more information about this person. But when I ran it earlier, it did find a lot of information. So let's look at Len Herbert here. When I ran it here, you can see the validation run. It gave me his legit Twitter account and his legit LinkedIn account right off the bat. So definitely try to hit the validation from time to time. I didn't know that little ribbon did that. So hopefully you can find that. Yeah, who knew that it was clickable? Yeah, this is stuff that I kind of need to take a whole day or two and go through every little piece of the KV Core dashboard and click stuff. And then we need to put little tool tips everywhere or something that tell people what things do, because the product team has built so many cool things that nobody knows about. They're just sitting in there, little Easter eggs. So that's that, just a small tip. The other thing I want to share with you guys, this is from the recruiting session. I wanted to share with you my offer wall type page. This is a global thank you page that I built for recruiting. And the purpose of this page is so that anytime I'm making a recruiting offer, that people are redirected here. They see a quick welcome video, and then they have the option to schedule a one-on-one meeting or text the broker of the company. And then any resources that they opted in for are down below. So you've seen me talk about this before with the deal links page, where I'm generating sort of buyer leads around investment properties and then putting a bunch of different investment property type links, squeeze links down below. This is a similar idea for recruiting. All right, so you have this kind of main page here, and I've also got it appearing in my navigation as fun stuff for agents, so people can come directly here if they want. Just a few landing pages that we built on that session. I'm not going to go into the whole thing, but just to show you 3 types of recruiting landing pages that you might consider doing. So you have the considering switching real estate offices. This is just a straight up page. And all of these will redirect to that same page I just showed you, right? No matter what offer. So considering switching, this is for somebody who's in the business and they're just, thinking about switching. It's just got a quick little kind of teaser about some of the main benefits of coming to the company in the subheadline. How to build a modern real estate growth system. This one gives away a recorded webinar that we've done in the past. You guys are welcome to use any of our webinars that you find on YouTube as lead magnets, so you can redirect to that content. But again, if somebody opts in for this, right, where they're going to end up is on this global recruiting page, because it basically says if you requested a resource, you'll find it near the bottom of this page. I say the same thing in the video, and then they scroll down, they can find that thing they were looking for, as well as engage with all of our other content right down there. And then the third type of page, so this would be kind of a general, right? Any agent would be interested in this, kind of like top of funnel content. And then the third type would be how to become a real estate agent. And I need to build out this content, but you could offer an ebook or a video or a webinar or something that just details the path of becoming an agent. And this kind of broadens your prospective audience of recruits, because basically anybody looking for a side hustle or to make any kind of money or a new career, well, there you go. They might be interested in opting in for this, and then you can incubate them over the long term. So figured I'd share these with you guys. Again, that session will be live. I'm not going to redo that. My voice is already getting tired from doing that. But that session will be live in a couple of hours on our YouTube channel. Here's the slides from that. And we kind of go deep into how to attract agents or recruit.
That was a fantastic webinar.
Yeah, because you were on it.
Well, I mean, you know.
This is Annalisa, not Kelly, right? I'm having a hard time lately.
Yes, this is Annalisa, not Kelly. We do sound very similar.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's that, the recruiting stuff, our little validation thing. I want to share with you guys. This is thanks.io. I'm a co-founder of this. I always like to say that disclosure, but it is in the marketplace of KV Core. And I just got done it's not done, but we're throwing together this course to show specific examples. And I was just throwing a bunch of templates in there.
Oh, cool.
Like image templates and then short message templates. There's about 30 of them for sending direct mail. So if you guys want to take this little course, I'll drop you the link. It's free. You know, it's just meant to kind of be a guide to using thanks.io and direct mail for real estate in general. I think I called it direct mail for real estate pros. So if you want to check that out, go for it. We also have some related resources in the next level members area that are similar to this. Well, since Annalise is here and since I am having a little mental slip, what do you got? You got any tips or tricks for us today for our hodgepodge session?
Think about this. Well, I know you talked about the recruiting link and we're going to have that on the webinar. I think it might be a good idea. You know what? I think here's what we need to do. Let's go into web and IDX on KV Core and go into website settings and do a deep dive into like the listings section.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure people are aware of these tools. So you can affect what types of listings land on your website, if you can add in additional filters from your MLS to land as options for your consumers. So there's some little tricks in here that I think will benefit a lot of you.
Cool. So let's go to listings.
Nope, we're going to go down to Web and IDX.
Oh, sorry. There we go.
Hover over that and then click on website content. Or go there and then click on website content or site content. Yeah. Site settings. No. Hover over Web and IDX on the left.
Okay.
And then click on website settings.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the neat thing about this, everyone, is this little index just jumps you to specific spots as a quick shortcut. What we're going to do is click on the bottom one for listings, because I think this is something that all of you can use today and make sure you have this set up to pull the kind of listings you want to have landing on your site, or to give it, the check on it. So the cool thing about this is, depending on the MLS of which you are connected, you might have a different list here. They're all pretty different just depending on the feeds we get. But this, you have the ability to say, no, I don't want pending, or I don't work with commercial at all, or I want to make sure that boat docks are available. So, you can look at these and really finesse it on the types of listings. Or if you have used parent, like he just clicked, it actually pulls the settings from the brokerage site and just applies those from the top down. Or you can go in here and just click these on or off, and then save it. And then it'll only pull those different types of listings, which is kind of handy. If you scroll down to the very bottom,
all the way down?
We can get into popular options. And this is, to me, this is like really, really cool beans. This allows you to add in options and filters from your MLS filters and have them land on the front side of the advanced search. Oh, and Kathy's saying, hey, how do I get there again? You're going to hover over Web and IDX. And then you're going to scroll down to the bottom and click on website settings. I'm just doing these. So then you lasso your squirrel and you bring him back to the nest, Ryan.
Yep.
But then you can actually put the information in there on search options. So like if you open up your website, Ryan, that's tied to this.
Yeah, go to the main website. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you go to a search, like the little search tab right up there, they had more options.
Yeah. Okay.
On this filter at the bottom. So these are all like baked in, everything at the top. But then you can see how he's got the additional ones in there where people can go and like, actually, no, I do want a private pool, or yes, I want them to allow pets, or whatever it is. But this is where you can actually add in those types of filters that might be more commonly used in your area or by the folks that you're targeting to, give them a little more empowerment. And the cool thing about this is after they get this chosen, and they look at the results, if they click on map, like if we just
unmap.
Yeah, close this.
Okay.
Or you see where it says like list right above the image.
Yep.
If you click map, let's say somebody's done a search.
Yep.
Whenever they do something specific, you can also coach your contacts to click free market report on the upper right hand corner of that map.
Oh, right. Yeah, I always forget that's there.
Yeah. And I encourage you to encourage your contacts to do this because it empowers them in using your website tools, one. Two, if they click on that and sign up for it, it's going to automatically sign them up for that market report every 28 days. And then you can go in and adjust it on their timeline of every 7, 14, 21, or 28 days, leave it be. You can also encourage your folks to click the little heart on any property.
Okay, so let me get back there. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So I'll go back here.
Yeah.
You got the free market report up here. My filters were kind of blocking everything from showing. So that's the
Gotcha.
that's the market report option.
Yeah, it should have started running.
It should have, yeah, but you can.
So something funky is happening there. But you can encourage people to create their own. Also, if they click a heart, just like click favorite one of those little guys. But if you tell any of them will work.
Are we among adults here?
I'll
control myself. I had a joke.
So you hold that thought, sir.
All right, I'll hold it. Thank you. All right.
So if you click on just like the little 2 on there.
2.
See the 2. There's 2 listings that are showing on that map right now.
Okay.
Or you can click on any of the photos. It doesn't really matter.
Got it.
But if you click on that to view it,
okay,
it's going to open up that property. So conversion is going to, not conversion. Wow, where'd that come from? KV Core is going to pull that content directly from your MLS onto here. And at the very top of that column is save. There's a little heart.
Oh, this is where I get my heart on?
You know what?
I did it. Sorry. Well, I clicked saved right there. All right.
What did I do in my life? Past lives.
You showed up, Emily. So,
yep,
so
I showed up.
Save.
I know. I did it to myself. So what the cool thing is here, you can tell your contacts to click saved. And if they click on the little saved bar at the top of the website next to their name,
right up here,
they have a running list of properties they have physically saved. Also, you will see like any image that they look at on your site, of course, you'll know they looked at that property. But if they click the heart and you encourage them to click the heart, then the system is going to slap a little heart on to the tile of the image on your dashboard. So you'll have a visual saying, okay, they purposely saved this property. I know what I'm going to contact them about.
Got
it. They can also click on their name on the website. Up a little higher, a little higher.
Sorry, it has been rough today.
I know.
Where is it?
Just to the right of the search field, yeah.
Yes, okay.
And you can encourage your folks to also create their own search alerts on top of what you have purposely set up in KV Core. This can also read to illuminating you on what they might be looking on that's more pie in the sky, or maybe they start looking in different areas. Then you'll see anything that they've looked at, in general, but you'll also notice, oh, maybe they got pre-qualified now. Instead of looking at 750, they're looking at 600, so you might see changes in what they're viewing, and then you'll have reason to contact them, update alerts, stay on top of that. So these are all driven to ultimately benefit you and how you're going to help the customer.
So one thing you can do, we haven't done this in a while, is you could record a video that goes out, when you get a new lead.
Tip of the week or something.
Yeah, here's a few cool things you can do on my website and show some of these features off.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. And I think you could send directly to this link from an email. Maybe it's login.php. if you copy the URL, you can send a follow-up email as part of your drips and say, hey, did you know you can save a search?
Mm-hmm.
Self-serve that and then send them to this link, and then they can set up their own search.
Yeah. Oh, and Brittany has a great question. What does it mean when there's a little fire symbol next to a heart, next to a house on a lead? So when you're looking at your KV Core dashboard, like your timeline,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're looking at particular listings, like if someone's viewed on their own contact record, like I don't know if you have any. Can you click on hot
Give me
leads
a
on
minute.
yours?
I'm going to go into an account that's a lot more active than the
Okay.
account I use here.
We'll get you a good example, Brittany. Basically, a hot lead is going to be someone who's letting off, pinging and binging, lighting up KV Core behaviorals. So there's the heart and there's the fire flames. Yeah. So that's what when he saved it, he got the heart. And then the fire flames for like Laura and RD on the second column, those indicate that these two people are heavily using the site. And you can actually look at this and see like, okay, when were they on my site? How did they look at it? So like Laura was on 2 hours ago and she looked at that property via her mobile device.
Right, because you can see the 2 on the mobile, right?
Yep.
Does that mean that's the second time she looked, or is that the second property?
She viewed the property twice.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. And then the neat thing about this too is like, if you hover over that listing, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the neat thing about this is, like, say Laura calls you and she's like, hey, what do you know about that place on Burlington Avenue? And out where you're like, everything. And inwardly you're like, what? All you have to do is click on the image and KV Core pulls in all of the deets about this property right in front of you.
That's great.
Now, the other cool thing about this is, let's say she's like, you know what? I like Burlington, but what else is out there that's like it? You can click on similar listings.
Oh, look, real quick, I'm going to click that. It tells you how much you'll make at a 3% commission. That's kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I forgot that was there.
Yep. Similar listings.
So similar listings, KV Core will be like, okay, well, when we look at this listing and what it has and what it looks like, all of these are similar to the one you're currently looking at.
So I could do like this. I could be like,
oh, I have a better way.
Okay. Let's do that.
I mean, that way does work, but so you can either send the properties alone by emailing or texting here, or if you want to send them and save them to the contact record,
okay,
you can choose a few listings or all of them, whichever. And if you click on more actions, add to saved. Yeah. Then you can put in the contact name. So like if you spoke with me about something in particular, you could say, hey, check out these listings. You can change up the text in there if you want, but that listing will send people directly to your site to view those specific listings. And then you click text or email, depending, and click add.
So this is how you would send the, you choose what you want to do, and then I can change this.
Yep.
So one thing I used to do, but way back in the days, I would, before all this tech, I would tell my new buyer contacts that I've handpicked them, and I would actually do this. I would try to find 3 listings or so that really fit. So I just took a minute to handpick a few listings that might fit your criteria.
And I might even say something like, you know, this came in on your alerts, but I really believe you should look at these.
The one on Main Street is especially interested. Just try to like editorialize one of them.
Right.
Let me know what you think. Link equals. So like that, and it just shows an extra level of service, but really all I did was kind of browse the similar listings real quick.
Right. And then if you click text or email and then add, it'll physically add the record. You'll see like a little verification on the bottom left-hand side. It'll say we added it to the lead's favorites and we texted the information. And then if you open up that contact record, you'll see what was sent and saved in their timeline.
Awesome.
So it's all there. It also works for nearby listings. So if they're like, hey, I like that condo didn't really do it for me, but what else is in the neighborhood? You can do the same type of thing. And all of this is at your fingertips in seconds. I
think nearby, especially what's popping out to me is that if you're dealing in one condo building, you're getting, look, I quickly got all the other listings in that building. Yeah. At a glance. That's kind of cool.
And then the other cool thing about this is the matching buyers.
Okay.
If you click on matching buyers, the system is going to compare everyone in your system that has listing alerts set up to this property. And it's going to say, all right, well, based on this property and what these people are looking at, they are likely matches.
Awesome.
So then you can either choose all and send them, or you can, send them a templated email with the listing information in it. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do here, but this gives you the ability to identify these folks and make sure they've seen the property to say, hey, you know what, this just hit, or I just saw it, I'm thinking of you, out it goes.
What's yeah, very cool. What are, you see the blues and the reds here? So does this mean that this lead is open 342 or is received?
You've had 342 email communications.
Gotcha. And then why is it grayed out? Oh, it's unsubscribed.
Unsubbed. Yeah.
That's
so yeah, those shouldn't be, well, they might have to have their status changed to archived. But you can see there like the different types of communication. So what you can do is at the very top of this list, you can click view in CRM. So it's going to take this list just to the down a little bit.
I see it. I see it right here.
Yep. You can click on that and it'll open up this list within your smart CRM. Then you can go into your filter. And I believe it's contact details towards the bottom. You can say, I'm going to text them, so I want to make sure they have a phone number, or I'm going to email them. I want to make sure they have an email address. But that's how you can build like a dialer list, a texting list, what have you. And then the system will pull that list only. And now these are all viable people that have an email.
Hot pads. Wow. See, that's the
old.
That's Google Contact Sync. That's an old. By the way, guys, if you don't, it's kind of really cool, the Google Contact Sync. I think it is.
I like it.
It pulls in a bunch of people you might have forgotten about years ago who were sitting there in your Gmail. Real quick, the way to do that is just click on the little envelope up here and hover down to Google settings. And what I recommended to Delia was she just leave her email off so that her emails aren't all flooding in here.
Right.
Stuff she doesn't want other people who are managing the account to see, but turn on the calendar and the contacts. And then all the Google contacts are being imported as Sphere automatically whenever she adds a contact in her phone.
Yeah.
How quick does that happen?
It's pretty instantaneous.
Yeah, I thought so too. It's pretty quick.
Because I know the second I merged my emails, I went, and I quickly turned it off, because I didn't need it for my business email here. Angela had a question. Are we going to get this recording so we can look at it again? Yes. It will be at insiderealestate.com/webinars.
Yep. It's actually already on, it's live streaming on YouTube. Yep. So if you go to the main Inside Real Estate YouTube channel, you see it there, and we'll get it in that playlist in a little bit.
Yeah. And then Dennis is asking, can you set the criteria for similar or nearby listings? Basically, Dennis, it's looking at that property and the basics of that property and saying, okay, based on this data for this property, these are all similar or these are all nearby.
Yeah, so it's not customizable, but it's getting it close.
I mean, you could go into listings and then the filter within the property listings and create something really, really specific, like you would for like a listing alerts or something of that nature.
I go on the left here.
Yeah, because there's also a find matching buyers on specific listings as well as in playbooks. And there's another spot. Where is that?
I never.
Oh, it's in the filter for the smart CRM at the bottom.
I mean, you've pretty much got your MLS in here. I never think to use it like this.
I mean, we pull in all of this information every time we get an update.
Yeah, it's really pretty cool. Can I get my lease to owns in here? Lease to owns are my favorite lead magnet, man. If you just want a lot of leads fast.
It gets people. I mean, people will need to get into a house. Yeah, that's an option sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of a universal, whether somebody can qualify for a mortgage or not. It's just something people will opt in for. But I don't think that's accurate. Why did it do that? There's not that many. Let me see. All listings, lease to own, viewer.
Put in an area. Oh, you true it. Yeah. Okay.
Apply selection. That feels like too many to me. Maybe I'll check with the team here.
Let's see. How many are there?
Too many.
Oh.
There aren't this many. Well, maybe I'm wrong, but there shouldn't be this many 304 lease option properties in the MLS.
Mm.
So I'll check. So guys, when something like that happens, keep in mind that we're mapping MLSs across, I don't know how many markets. It's a
Oh my
thousand.
God. Well, I would say all of North America into Canada. So that's a lot.
Yeah, so sometimes you're going to see wonkiness. You just let our support know, and there's a whole MLS team that can say, "Oh yeah, it's for some reason the MLS, the lease options aren't shown right," and they can usually get it
Yeah.
solved. Um,
Dennis has a question. We have a lot of homes that are in different school systems across the road,
mhm.
and many leads only want one specific school's system. So depending on the data that your MLS builds in, like Ryan, can you jump into just a contact record and we can look at alerts?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't want to. It doesn't matter
Okay,
who I go
you can
into,
pick a
does it?
fakie. Yeah.
Okay.
If you go into alerts, and let's just go set up alert 2.
Okay.
What you can do when you're defining the area is you can put in, like, some of them allow you to do elementary school, depending on the MLS, but you can try elementary or school district and see what comes up, because it can be hit or miss. So it looks like Ryan's doesn't have that. Let's see. No, you could also click draw on map.
So
there you go. So it comes in differently for your MLS. Instead of elementary school, it's got the neighborhood. But you could also draw on map and then put in the address of the school at the top.
Okay, cool.
And then you'd be able to actually, zoom in and draw a shape.
Right.
We're having a lot of fun today. And then that would be like the designated area of those homes. And then you could put in like the price range, the floor and a ceiling price if you want to do bed, bath, what have you. And then you would have something specific for that area. You could also, if you wanted to create a custom page on the front side of your site, you can go to the front side of your website and draw specific maps of school districts or areas around schools and say, click here to see the homes near XYZ. And that could just be a custom page that would drop down on your resources.
So you could have a page that's like St. Pete, Florida listings by school district.
Yeah, in fact, I think I have an example of that in an email somewhere, because there was one person I worked with. Remember William Shanahan? Ryan? Yeah. So William and I worked on something like that, and they actually created a custom page that just spoke about school districts. And it had a link to check out the homes nearby the school district, as well as like welcome packets if you're bringing your child to live in that area. Like, what do I need to prepare for? And they just linked it to that school. So you could have something school oriented, but that also leads them back to your website to view the properties and directs them to that ISD or that school district to get, registration information or what have you.
Cool. So yeah, and then, I mean, alerts are designed to get you pretty close, but if somebody's talking to you that heavily and they're like, "Hey, I need something really nitty gritty," that's where the MLS comes in. I mean, KV Core.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
And you can also put filters in there too, if it's a little more nitty gritty, because you can do keywords and alerts too.
Right. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Brittany's getting a lot of leads who ask about lease to own specifically. In this market, I know it's a little tougher, but it's not a bad lead generation hook just to start conversations. And you might get people who can't qualify yet, but share those leads with your lender, get them pre-qualified. It's a longer term game. But I know there are a lot of agents around the country who specialize in crafting option deals. It is a legit niche, and there are cases where you can craft win-win deals where the seller might be down to do that. A lot of times you'll get investors who, they were already buying and holding a property, but they haven't been having the best luck with tenants, but they do like the idea of holding the property a while longer. So a lease option kind of gives them the best of both worlds. If you exercise the option, great, they get their price. If not, they continue to have the cash flow and the rental income. So don't assume that niche doesn't work, and there's probably an opportunity to become the lease option person in your market or one of them. So
that would be pretty amazing growth series.
Yeah, actually, and it's kind of a cool way if you're like really in the business to help people, get involved with home ownership. It's kind of a really, really cool niche. I mean, you can work with people for years before they're qualified, right? Help them get into their rental, have the relationship, and if you do that for somebody, think about the referrals that you're going to get. You're
Well, and
really,
they might spin any revenue, like maybe they'll get a condo or a duplex or something and sell it and then buy the next one. So you could actually help them build a business themselves and maybe connect them with people you network with that can guide them as business managers for properties and things like that. So it could really be quite a service end to end.
yeah. Brittany's asking is, I used to, man, I can't remember who taught lease options. There's a ton of real estate investing people who do lease option courses about how to kind of sell your house with a lease option, right? The other side of it. So taking one of those would probably help you become pretty brushed up on it. But I don't know who's doing it from the buyer side. There might be an opportunity to create a course there for somebody.
I'm going to ask our discussion group.
Yeah. It's definitely something that could be created as a niche. It's kind of, these things come around when the market demands it, right? That kind of training, and the market hasn't been such that it's a big deal. But if things start to really turn the other direction, you'll see all kinds of courses and information. So it might be an opportunity now to zig while everybody else is zagging and get in there and do it. There's not too much to it. I mean, I would learn how the contracts work first, and taking some of those investor courses. I saw one just now on Udemy, might be affordable. Give you the basics of how a lease option contract works. You can probably, I think we all have those in our form systems, right? There's always a lease option sitting there. And then, yeah, become the expert, because nobody else probably is talking about this in your market.
Right.
And I think typically you can get, you can work it out. So you're not going to get a commission because the property doesn't sell, but you can probably get the fee listing commission. You get like the first month's rent or half month's rent for working it out. And then you're going to get the commission on the sale, but you're going to lock that into the lease option agreement. So whenever it closes down the road, you'll get the commission.
Get that money, yo.
Yeah. Charlie's answer, is there a hack to be able to get sold data? There's no hack, but I thought we were working on that.
So we're adding in sold data per MLS. So we're working with every, hey, Charlie, I just noticed it says Charlie. Yeah. So basically we're working with all of the different MLSs. So it's kind of like herding cats. Not all of them are going in the same direction. So it's just kind of finessing it per MLS and making sure it gets in there. If you want to check if your sold data is pulling for your MLS, you can always chat with support and they can look into it. I do know that it's a big goal of products to get that whole project done for every MLS in North America.
Yeah, Charlie, you're in a big one. I think you're in the same one as me, right? I would assume it's going to be one of the
stellar, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be one of the next. Yeah.
For the time being, you can manually enter in sold, exclusive, and coming soon. And those do create a unique link on your website for those types of properties via the listings tab on your dashboard. So you can do something similar, but it's not auto pulling in as of yet for that sold.
And I think we have a lot of that with CorpResent set up. A lot of CorpResent has the sold data. So I think that was we were getting it done there. And I think
in preparation, yeah.
I think that now that infrastructure is done, that it should start rolling out. Charlie, I'll try to find out and let you know. I just haven't heard anything about it in a little while.
I haven't either.
No. Cool. Now there is Charlie says he has a newsletter that he links out. Don't forget about the area pages.
These are sweet. I love these.
So area/Gulfport. You have
So at the very bottom of your landing page for your website is where like the areas we cover lands.
Yeah.
And then when somebody clicks on one of those, it brings up, and you can also create one with a zip code like he just did. But it's built to keep people engaged and clicking through. So it always pulls the most popular, least expensive, most expensive, a town versus county stat, a listing summary of how many total, how many within there that are new, reduced, etc. And then they can keep clicking through, clicking hearts, and then dependent on how the MLS or the agents put in that listing, it might fall into one of those additional neighborhoods or areas within. So it's just designed to keep them clicking and engaging. And you can use any of these links on your daily property searches or put them in your newsletters or what have you. You can also embed text and video right underneath where it says Griffin Sub Real Estate. You can actually insert a video right there or even HTML.
Yeah, I can show that. So You could do an email every week that's like the neighborhood of the
Yep.
week.
Featured neighborhood or something.
Yeah.
And you could, and you know, the thing is, what you could do well as well is in your smart CRM, if you had your hashtags attached to people, you know, for a certain zip code, then you would just create that templated email and send it to that hashtag list for that particular area.
Yeah. So here's an example with a video up top. I also embedded the seller widget, and then here's a quick look at all the activity in the market. So you could just do every month or every couple of weeks, hey, here's your 33707 market update. And then every time they get there, they get your call to action to get their home value. So where you do that, you go to Web and IDX. I think you can go to website content.
Yep.
And then service areas and SEO.
Yeah.
And then you'll see your different areas here. You can add them all up using the top click up here, or add them one at a time. I think I added them all at one point.
Yeah, in your area, that's like a cajillion.
Yeah. And then your text, this is where your HTML goes. So you can see for that one zip code I had. Huh.
Is it in there though as a custom page? I thought you put the zip in and built the link
Maybe
on your site. Yeah, I think that's
weird,
what you did.
because I had it in the area page, so I'm wondering how I did that.
Oh. Are you on the right? You're not on the right site, are you?
I am not.
Right. Yeah. No, look at the top. No. Go back up. You see that little scope picker? Yeah, pick your site.
That is why.
Yeah. So if you're an admin, don't be a statistic like me and Ryan, because we jump in and out of these things and we're like, wait, why isn't that working? Oh, wait, I need to pick the right URL. Yeah,
so
there it is.
So what is the difference between local logic and the area page info? Local logic kind of overlays some of the info on top of the map, right? The map search.
Yeah. So when you're looking at the map search, there's like when you look at it now, we got, get your market report on the upper right. On the upper left is where the tool systems work for local logic. And you're going to be able to say, what's the grocery like? Is it a grocery oasis, or, what's the entertainment like? Is it quiet? What's the walkability? I mean, there's all sorts of things you can utilize when it's on top of this. And basically it'll also show you heat maps depending on what you're seeking as well.
Yeah, I got to get that added here to this account. I totally forgot it existed.
Yeah, it's really neat. And what's the other one? Local logic and
the drive time.
Yeah, drive time is pretty nifty too.
Yeah. So those are available in the marketplace tab, I'm pretty sure, guys. I'll probably get those added to mine too.
Yep. Just
click local logic. And there's probably a video there. Who knows? It might be me.
Okay, quick look, toggle these on.
So yeah, you can go there. You'll see a quick video about it. I'll have to watch it again.
We should do a session on that, or the add-ons, because that's really, I'd say, like, between this core messenger bot and the property boost, I'd say if you're looking like for something budget friendly, these are gold.
Yeah.
So I think maybe we could just talk about the different types of applications that you can layer on top of your websites and have some fun.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll do that. Also, with local logic, anytime you add this, definitely be sure to highlight it to your users, your people browsing your site. You'll want to email them a tour or a video, or have some kind of, pop-up or hello bar that directs them to this.
Right. And I think the schools can be in there as well. I believe local logic pulls the school thing on maps and things. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it does. But yeah, that would also solve the other problem that I believe was brought up. I'm like, hey, how do I identify the people in a specific school district or something? That was from Dennis.
Cool. Yeah, I think local logic's affordable.
Yeah.
It's 15. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So like that, to me, between the messenger bot for $80 and that, you would have a qualifier built in to ask people qualifying questions for sellers or buyers, and recruiting's coming. Yeah. And you'd have this layer of items for people to play around with on your site.
Yeah. Cool. Does anybody have anything else? Let me look here. Do you have any ideas for marketing and getting leads for residential lots? For people who want to sell residential lots, that's direct mail. To me, it is. That's tax records and direct mail. My friend Josh Shanley, I'll plug his course because I know it's really good. Josh,
He is good.
Lots course, man. I forget what it's called. Land course. Oh man, I forget.
Want me to find his site?
No, I'll ask him and I'll send it to you,
Okay.
Brittany. He's got a little course about sending direct mail to get land listings. I know he was wholesaling them for a while and flipping them, but he was also using them, listing them too, at one point. So I'll ask him what he's doing there. But me, yeah, for a listing to sell, it's fairly straightforward. If you think about it, it's going to be something like, let's go into thanks here.
I was going to ask you if you had the farming tools in there because I know you've got a couple.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So, but you can get really surgical here, right? You could actually, let's go to Google Maps and say you're trolling let's go to Google Earth. Remember we did this
even better get topographical. Yeah. I think it was a year ago, but it seems like yesterday.
Yeah, we did it a few weeks ago. We ended up here. But you can go to the specific lot, take a screenshot of it. And the question is Brittany says, how would you know who to target? So that's your tax records. So go into your MLS, go to your tax records and, search by lots and land. Remine, if you have access to that, might be good at this too.
Mm-hmm.
Pick the zoning type lot and then start looking for, basically just start looking for the owner's address out of state. And a lot of the tax record searches will let you do like owner is out of state and things like that. So say we do this, you could take a quick screenshot of the lot you're trying to list, like I'm doing here. I mean, if you really want to get granular with this, and there's a whole business in what I'm about to do, guys. You could only do this, right? And I could upload that picture, because what's going to happen when the owner of that land gets this picture on the front of a postcard?
My interest will be piqued.
Yeah, right. They're going to okay. What is this? Hi.
Mm-hmm.
If you're at all considering selling your lot at 123 Main Street, please text me at number. I had a neighbor. You could, I don't know, but you say I have a few investors buying lots all over St. Pete, and I can probably get you a solid offer fast, right? And your name, company, PS, scan the QR code.
Yeah.
If you want to learn a little bit more about how I can get you top dollar as quickly as possible. This would be like a little extra. Then we'd have a QR code that goes to like a YouTube or a custom page on KV Core, right? Whatever that link is. And then when you put the link in, it'll do the scan me. The advantage of the scan QR is that when they scan it, you'll know they scanned it. You'll get an email that lets you know.
Right.
So, and then yes, Josh's course, Brittany, if I could find it, what he also taught was, okay, now that you've got the seller agreeing to sell it and they're saying, yes, I want to buy a buyer. I want you to find me a buyer, buy a buyer. Then what you would do is you've got the listing, you would mail all the neighbors, right? So you drop a pin, you mail all the neighbors, say, hey, one of your neighbors is selling their lot, because a lot of times what's going to happen is one of the neighbors is the most likely person to be interested in that property, right? So, or they might know somebody. The other people you might mail that to is known real estate investors, of course.
Right.
So yeah, that's kind of a demo of how you would do that with thanks. And if you can take the time to do a separate one with a picture of the lot, I have a hunch you'll like the results. It's a little time intensive, but it's not too expensive, right? It's just your, with thanks or whatever system you decide to use. This postcard would go out for 59 cents, postage included, or you can do a note card for $1 or $2.
I
So,
just love it because it looks authentic and you can choose the handwriting, which I think is also really neat. There's so much you can do.
yeah, yeah, it's this thing's coming along.
It's
So,
cooking. Yep.
yeah.
And I just dropped a link to the webinar we had fairly recently on success with QR codes into the chat for everyone to give you an idea of what you can do with QR codes, where you can apply them for your business and so forth.
Yeah. I'm actually in somebody else's account here. Yeah, Greg's. I wanted to share, I don't think he'll mind. He's doing a really awesome ice cream scoop for people.
Oh, fun.
Happy anniversary postcard, but it's see how the postcard's kind of like
Bring in for 2 free scoops. Oh, neat. I like that.
Yeah, and then his friend owns the shop, and then he just pays his friend scoop. But so it's helping a local business owner, and it's
right.
Connecting with people.
Well, that reminds me of I think it was locally here every year they do a thing called Dogtoberfest in Portland. But basically, all of the people all over can help but sponsor this. But you can actually get in line and bring your dog and get your dog washed. And then it's usually close to some local breweries that allow pets. So it just becomes a really great event day that you can help sponsor or even do your own Dogtoberfest for your own clientele. But it would be a neat way to get everyone together and out and about and engaged.
Yeah. There's a question, Canva Pro works the same. Well, you can use Canva to build your images. Yeah. So I just did a quick upload of a screenshot, but if you want to get a little more granular with the design, yeah, you could upload that image and then put some text over it and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, we're about 45 in. That's the point at which my attention starts to really fade.
I'm so glad I jumped in.
my brain turns to mush. So if everybody's good, I think that's the end of our comments. We will get this replay up as soon as possible. Tuesday, I think I might be out after the holiday, but Heather's going to do a session. Day. Yeah, you're out too. So Heather's going to do a session on Tuesday, though. She's been bringing some great stuff, Linktree, Canva. So she'll bring something probably design or newsletter related, something like that. And then we'll see you guys. I'll see you next Wednesday, but definitely be around here on Tuesday for Heather's session. Hey, thanks,
everybody.
Annalisa.
You're welcome. And catch you later. Bye.
Happy Labor Day, everybody. Stay safe. Bye.